everyone, it's Sharana from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Squid Game Season 2, which is currently streaming on Netflix. The series stars jung-jae as he returns as Ji-Hung. Player 456 is back and ready for more action. I mean, well, he not really trying to do all of that, but he ready to give them some smoke as he sets out on a journey to take down those responsible for the Squid Games and put it into the games once and for all. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stayed. I'll tell you what I liked about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time or not binging Squid Game Season 2, okay? So the stakes were really high for Season 2. And to be honest, sometimes I just feel like we gotta let a series just be good for one season and just accept it for the masterpiece that it was. And that's how it was with Squid Game. You know, the creator said, I only intended for this to be one season, but you know what? These bills not gonna pay themselves, and Netflix made a lot of money, but the creator of the series did not. And, you know, he said, I need some money, y'all. So we're gonna make a Season 2. And we're gonna make it Season 3, and I'm gonna get my coins, and you're gonna get your best life, all right? So I think one of the biggest questions going into Season 2 was, can it live up to the hype? Can it live up to the greatness that Season 1 had to offer? And I will say why I still think that Season 1 will forever be the best season of them all, and that was really because we didn't know what was in store for us before we hit play. But I will have to say, this is one of the best sequels that never should have been a sequel to happen. One of the best Season 2s that should have just stayed a Season 1 to happen. I have to say I'm very impressed with what the creator was able to do with Season 2 of Squid Game. And one of the things that I really love about the series, and what I love that they still keep going in Season 2, is the overall social commentary of the purpose of Squid Game. This whole veil, lifting the veil on what capitalism has done to society. You know, what crippling debt can do to somebody to make them feel like there's nothing else that they can't even see a future because they're in so much debt that they just don't know what life can bring, what happiness that life can bring. And one of the decisions that is made in Season 2 is to actually have more young players in the season, which I thought was a really fantastic idea. As somebody who has struggled with student loan debt, a lot of people graduate out of college in debt already before they can even enter the workforce. And I think I love this inclusion. There's a moment that happens in the series where there's an older player kind of pleading with a younger player, like, you're young, you have your whole life ahead of you, you have so much time to pay off this debt, when it's really just like, is it better to be young and in debt? Because to be honest, you know, for someone like me, when I was in debt, it almost felt like, is somebody gonna marry me with this debt? Like, I'm already in debt before I've entered like my first job. I'm not even making good enough money to pay back the debt that I have. And I think as a young person, there's a different point of view. Yes, I have more years of life ahead of me, but also too, I'm also starting out at an earlier age in debt. And so I like this inclusion of actually having younger players, of actually really symbolizing where we are as a society. There's so many young people in debt. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. Prices are high everywhere. So I love that you have these new characters who come from different walks of life. You have people who are investing in cryptocurrency, who made bad deals based on, you know, an influencer's advice. I think it's more indicative to where we are right now in society. You know, we have a trans player this season. We have a trans woman who's participating in the games. Now, there was one character that I was like, jail time for everybody involved, okay? I know we out here killing people for rich people's sport, but you gotta draw a line somewhere. I'm not gonna say what was wrong with this person, because I want you to be able to just have the I know you effing lying moment that I had. But I was like, nah, y'all, somebody call the front man, somebody come talk to them. Like, honey, they should have been disqualified from even being able to come on in this game. That don't make no sense. I just want to slap the taste out of their mouth. Like, I can't believe that you would let them participate in this state. But it is what it is. I'm gonna let it go. It was for our entertainment. But yes, and then they also have like a son and his mother, which it made me think, did they watch the Squid Game, like the challenge? Because I know he consulted for that series as well. It almost made me feel like, did you take that from that? Or this is something that you always wanted to do? I don't know. But yes, I like that we have a different mixture of characters. Now, I'm not gonna say they a little bit more annoying this season. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Some of them was working my nerves a little bit more than Season 1, to the point where I was like, yeah, like, are they finna die soon? Cause like, if they say one more thing, I'm gonna come through the screen myself and handle this, okay? So I love that we get to see with Ji-Hun's journey. I think that he does such a fantastic job of almost playing a different character than what we noticed in season 1. He's a lot darker, he's more serious, but then there's these quiet moments where you see a piece of who he once was, where, you know, he's a man that is still grieving the loss of his mother, who's grieving the loss of these friends that went on this journey that only people who participated in the games will be able to understand, how he's lost all of these people. And you would think like, baby, y'all gave me all these millions on millions of dollars. I'm finna be like, I'm gonna pour one out for y'all real quick, but baby, I'm finna live my life. But I think that it shows at what cost, what did he have to sacrifice in order to be in the position to be debt free? And I like how we really analyze this with this character who has been 3 years at this point from where we saw him at the end of season 1, and everything that he has sacrificed in order to make sure that others will be able to live. I think it's really interesting to see that character development, and the performance is always amazing. I think jung-jae is a really fantastic actor, and I love what he did with this character, and then be able to play somebody that's so different from who we were first introduced to in season 1. It was one of the best parts of season 2 for me. Now also too, I do want to say that there's new games in the series. I think also too, there's new rules. There's like a simple rule that they introduced into season 2 where I was just like, oh, y'all doing that? Like, is that gonna be the same? But then as the season continues on, as the characters begin to play the games and understand, you know, what situation they really found themselves in, it makes the stakes a lot higher. Things get a lot more intense, things get bloodier, and just, it was something so simple. It's just adding this new rule that really kind of changed the game. I was just like, wow. I was a little upset at first, but now I see what you're doing. And it does a really great job of dealing into the psyche of what these games do to people, of the opportunity to be able to be debt free or to be able to have this chance at a new life, how far people are willing to go and how much of their former selves are they willing to lose in order to chase this dream, this little carrot that they've been dangling in front of them. I think it really upped the stakes for season 2, and it made the games a lot more interesting. Now, I know what you're thinking, but bitch, we already know what's gonna happen, okay? We seen season 1, we know they're gonna die when they play a game, so how do you keep an audience that's in on the secret now? How do you keep them engaged? And I think one of the most fun that I had watching it is really in the first episode when we get to the games. It takes a while to get there, but when we get to the games and you see player 4, 5, 6 trying to tell them like, hey hoes, like y'all finna die if you don't listen to me. I think that's what makes it entertaining. You're in on the secret now and you know what's at stake, but they're now in the situation that you were in when you first saw red light, green light. And I think that makes it it makes it even more fun to watch, to see it transpire. And it makes for a lot of funny moments. I think that this is a lot funnier than I remember season 1 being. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be funny and maybe I need to seek therapy, but I do feel like there's more comical moments that happen throughout the course of the season. Maybe that is because they have younger players and there's just like more things that are happening with the new dynamics of the new players. But I did think they did a good job of kind of balancing, making it kind of fun, but then also reminding you like, okay, while you laughing, people are about to start dying at the same time. I think they do a good job of balancing all of that. Now, I do want to say Lee Byung-hun, who plays the front man, I really love what they did with his character this season. To be honest with you, I didn't know if he was going to like come back or what his role was going to be like with everything that transpired at the end of season 1. But they do something with his character that at first, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought was very lazy. But as it kept going on, I was like, oh, y'all cooking here. Like, y'all really did that. And I really love what he does with the character, who he is when we see him at the beginning of the series to where we leave off in the crazy cliffhanger of the series. I'm very interested to see what they do with this character in season 3. I know it's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be big. And I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun watching it. Now, this is like Bloodier in a different way. I do like that we have more team interactions, but as we set up for the course of this season with the new rules changes, it changes the dynamic of the groups as well. And as we get into the cliffhanger of season 2, I was like, am I watching Rambo or is this Squid Game? I had to turn my TV down. I said, they gonna think like they gonna think it's an all-out war happening in my household right now. And I have to say that it ends on a very high note. It ends on a crazy note. I don't know what the heck is gonna happen in season 3, but honestly, I think that how they set up the end of season 2, I think season 3 might actually be better than season 2. And that kind of leads me into some of the issues that I did have with this season. Now, Jung-ho's, I didn't like how he was kind of sidelined this season. Jung-ho is the brother of the front man, who you remember from the first season. And I felt like we were getting somewhere very interesting with that whole dynamic of what happened at the end of season 1, where we find him in season 2. And then it was just like, every time they would like kind of focus on the games and then they would cut back to whatever he has going on, it kind of took me out of the season. And it was almost to the point where I was just like, to be honest, y'all not really doing nothing with his character, so y'all can really just, we don't need to see him for the rest of the season. I do feel like they're setting him up for something better, but this is when I kind of get into those things where we're purposely holding out on certain things just to make it to another season to be able to, you know, cash in on the success of the series. I really hate how they kind of sideline him, but I'm excited because I hope that they're going to do something a little bit more with him. There's also something with his storyline that was so obvious that was going to happen that when it did happen, I was just like, I kind of wish that I was wrong, but I was right. I felt like it was a lazy decision because we kind of saw it coming from a mile away, but it is what it is. Hopefully it pays out to be something a little bit better. I will say that there's a dream sequence that happens that I really felt like they should have played more on with player 456 of what happens when you have someone who's been to the games, who's experienced the games, and kind of thinks that the same things are going to happen with the games. I kind of wish that what happened in that dream sequence, I wish that that actually would have played out to be a part of the storyline early on as we got into the first couple of games of the season. But the only other issue that I did have with this season is I didn't feel that emotional pull with the new characters. If you think back to season 1, the Marble episode alone was just, it gutted me for so many different reasons. The betrayal, the loss, because you felt an attachment to these characters because we spent a little bit more time with them in the real world, or, you know, we had that core group of friends, and we kind of have that in season 2. But we don't get a lot of development from all of the different characters. So I didn't feel the emotional pulls that I had where I was like, oh, I needed to take an emotional break after Marbles. There's no real episodes where you feel like the emotional stakes are high because you become attached to these characters. I wish we had a little bit more of that in season 2, but season 2 is a different type of story. Yes, we are in the games, but it's not just about them surviving the games. It's about, can player 456 stop the games from happening? Can he get a hold of those responsible? And what are they willing to do to protect their hierarchy? But more so, will the players band together in order to help player 456 on this journey? And so overall for me, even though I had things that I didn't like about this season, I still think it's a really good season. For it to be a show that wasn't supposed to be a season 2, and the fact that we have season 2 and season 3 coming out next year, I really enjoyed Squid Game. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that the performances were still good. I think if we can just delve into a little bit more character development as we get into the craziness of what is laid before us, like the framework that they set in season 2 for what we're going to have in store for us for season 3. Justice for Jung-ho. Y'all better give him something to do in season 3, because I know y'all didn't let my man survive to let him just be a side character like this. It's disrespectful at this point, okay? But yes, overall for me, I enjoyed Squid Game season 2. I would tell you to go ahead and binge it. Get your entire life. And if you haven't watched Squid Game, I'm talking to y'all, because there's people out there that haven't watched the first Squid Game, and I get it, okay? Y'all overhyped Squid Game, said it was a masterpiece, said it was the best series to come out in quite some time. And it's true. I hate when people overhype stuff, but I'm telling you, I converted my hairstylist and her daughter over the weekend. I converted them. They was into it, okay? If you haven't watched it, it's okay, baby. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm judging you a little bit, but we listen and we don't judge right now. Go watch Squid Game season 1, get your entire life. And then you're gonna watch season 2 and get your entire life again. If you did watch Squid Game season 1, watch a recap, because I started watching it without going back and doing a recap, and there was a reveal that was happening that was super big, and I was like, I feel like this is a big reveal. But I also feel like I don't remember something that happened last season, so I went back and re-binged season 1. And when I came back, I was like, oh, yes, that was a big reveal. And yeah, so you might want to have a refresher, watch a recap video, something to kind of get you back in that mode. But you can have a good time, y'all. So get your best life, binge season 2 of Squid Game, and then go convert somebody. That's what, reach out and touch somebody's hand and say, beloved, let me bring you into a fandom that you're about to enjoy. So those are my thoughts on Squid Game Season 2. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pure Wait. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.